Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, the Ruler School Circuit Series now taking orders on our Q4 2024 circuit kits, and our guest lecturer members, Fight Ramen. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers. Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours featuring me, DMO73, and I'm joined as always by Paul Reisman.
I'm Reisma the Light Monarch.
And Mike Rance.
Force Will 2 Electric Boogaloo. You've heard it here first, folks.
There we go. We are here.
It's coming.
We're so happy to have you all here. We hope you have been having a great week, and we hope all of you who are in Milan are nice and rested up after playing in your competitive weekend, where people still didn't respect Burn. I genuinely do not know how my list Moochtart won Milan. Good, but hey, you know what? Fine, it's fine. Whatever. Anyway, we hope you enjoy it. If you like what we're doing, want to click that subscribe button down below or click the join button to join the channel as a member. We'd appreciate you. But otherwise, we're just glad that you're here and have to have you in the chat as we're hanging out. And we're in this cycle where I kind of today at like 10:30 a.m. I was like, you know what? We don't really have much to talk about at the podcast tonight except the Milan results. I wonder if they'll be posted. Oh my God! The video from Force of Will just dropped. It's like I just have to speak into the ether and I get a new video. The Rio provides. And
Jeremy, I'm pretty sure Kim's got your bedroom wiretapped at this point.
Yeah. Jeremy's talking about how he needs new video content. Release a video.
Content. Go.
We need to go.
Illegal.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Anyway. And we got some cool news, particularly in regards to some of the new mechanics from next set. And some hinting at some of what will be. So they did some good answering of the Q&A stuff. Not all of the questions were answered. Obviously, continue to post questions in their videos if you haven't already, because I think it's good that they're responding to those. And we got some information about the next set and the next Masterpiece collection, which they very clearly hinted at the fact that Alice Cluster is not getting a Masterpiece collection. Yeah, Masterpiece collections.
No,
There's more of them, but not every set is going to get one every year. So very clearly a setup for Lapis Cluster being our next Masterpiece collection. And we got some news for the new cards. We're going to jump in. These are all obviously in development, but as the introduction to kind of some of our new mechanics that are coming out.
First, Jeremy, before we start on these, I want to give a quick shout out to Gerardo Felix for sending me this crocheted Kiki.
Yeah, Gerardo got the crocheted Kiki. Yeah, that was awesome. He did tell me he was
chat, y'all.
Yeah, we have crocheted Kiki. So now we have. Oh God, there it goes. We have. We have last audience. We have
and Kiki.
Now we just need a dolly for Paul, and then we'll all have our little mascot. So we'll have
make it happen.
We'll all have our little crocheted buddies.
Drive the trip.
Put some dollars in the chat.
Nose was a little scuffed on entry, but we're all
good.
okay here.
It's good. And last audience is hanging out. Yeah, last audience is hanging out. Gerardo does some dope work with these little crocheted people. It's dope.
Phenomenal.
It's very cool.
Absolutely stellar work.
So yeah, we got new concepts. We got new mechanics to talk about and introduce. Some of them are pseudo retrains on previous mechanics. Some of them are all kind of brand new or Force of Will's version of those mechanics that are introduced in other clusters. So we're gonna go. So since when is Dolly's Paul's mascot? Identity theft. Sorry, you both Listen, you both liked Olivia at the same time. You both saw her at the same time. It's not one of you first.
I'm on the podcast.
Yeah,
Pat.
That's true. So we have Infantry of the Light Palace, a military soldier, quick cast, protect 4/4, taps to remove the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck from the game face down. Play this ability only during each player's main phase, which I am glad for, because you can't quick cast it on your opponent's turn and then tap it and then recover and then tap it again. It's slow down, slow your roll. It's not going to be that abusive. And then we got the new keyword Eclipse. This card gains the following text in all zones as long as there are 13 face down cards in your opponent's removed area. It does say 13 exactly, which makes me think that the in development portion of this is that it will say 13 or more.
No, Jeff, you have to make sure that it's exactly 13. Otherwise, you lose the game.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh god.
But it certainly does seem like it does certainly seem like there's a hint here that makes me feel like Eclipse is going to be a pseudo mill mechanic, which we've never really had a great mill your opponent deck.
Never will.
Like it's always kind of been like, hey, by the way, you're milling your opponent's cards. But that's kind of it. It's not like, oh, the core of this deck is trying to mill your opponent to death. So if Eclipse is going in that direction of giving us a mill deck that like cards will get better once we've started to mill your opponent, I'm kind of here for it. I think that's kind of cool space for Force Will to kind of explore. Shotgun Daddy, look at this man's ready to go. No, as it doesn't say 13 exactly, it is 13 or more. Thanks, Alejandro. Good old CR. Hooray. Hopefully they clarify it on the card itself, though.
Yeah,
Please.
that'd be great.
Please clarify. New CR rules. Wee. I want to mill people. Now you want wheel effects. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, a mill archetype coming to Force of Will, which is pretty cool. Like I said, never really been actually flushed out. It's just kind of been incidental. You make your opponent lose some cards. So it's cool to see that that's coming in. Next up, we saw my favorite of the new mechanics.
How'd I know? How'd I know this was going to be the Jeremy pick?
This is Castle Robber, 3-drop bandit that has Ambush for 1 red. When this card is put into your standby area, you may play it as a triggered object by paying its ambush cost if your opponent has drawn a card this turn. When you play this card with ambush, its cost is its ambush cost instead of its printed cost. This means it dodges things like Muse Spirit and Muse Staring At because it's being played for its actual cost because the cost is being replaced. They gave me a stealth mechanic that dodges Muse Spirit and dodges Spirit of the Mirage Ruins. I'm so excited.
They're making red cards for Jeremy now.
But it is the red card. Listen, they made me a ruler last 2 sets ago. They got to start. I guess red's my color now.
Here's a red ruler for Jeremy. We're gonna make him into a red ruler so he plays red.
The ambush mechanic in general, I think I've talked before about how I would have loved for them to have revisited stealth as a concept as they're revisiting mechanics, but in order to revisit stealth, they have to inherently fix it. Like there are elements of the way stealth was designed that are fundamentally just functionally broken in the game of Force of Will. I like ambush as a way to do it. Now, don't get me wrong. You could have just retooled stealth to function differently and give them a stealth cost or whatever. I get it 100%. But this also, I'm excited. I just need to see what the other ambush cards are. And if this means that there's by the way, I know that we're saying that this is a K1 support. I know that we're saying this is K1 support. But if this is a new mechanic, there's a very real possibility that one of the new rulers is an ambush ruler, which means we don't need to go back to K1. We just play the new one. Please. I'm here for it.
You're robbing the Light Palace.
I just really love that this card could have just said ambush and not have any other text, and Jeremy would still be foaming at the mouth over it.
Sorry, say that again. One more time. Sorry.
I'm glad that honestly this card could have had no text other than the ambush.
Other than ambush, I would have been foaming at the. Yeah, for sure. This is really how I Spy gets Jeremy to play more red decks. Yeah, you're right. This is it. Rye A. I'm trying to learn FOW and can't find a community. What is the panel's advice? So the idea would be to join. A really good way is to go watch our How to Start Playing Force of Will in 2024 video, because there's also links in the description of that video to our Discord server, as well as the official, like the most centralized global Discord server and Facebook groups. And there's also a weekly free online league series called the OLS. It is free to play. You can play via webcam, tabletop simulator, or Untap, which is a web-based program that's talked about in that video. You can play it every week. It's free. It doesn't cost any money, and you earn promos for playing in it. So that's an excellent way to get started. We also have a World of FOW page over on our website, rulerschooltcg.com, that we encourage people to put their pins on for like stores that they play at. So you can kind of get connected that way too. But the Discord servers are probably the easiest way to jump in. Ambush.
Yeah, there are definitely certain areas that are like more populated with FOW communities than others. But if you're willing to travel a little bit, like I'm in Southern California, there's one about 45 minutes south of me.
Yeah.
If you're willing to travel for it, there's going to be something nearby. You just have to find it.
Yeah. And, Shunpo's hooking us up with some awesome links in the chat for you, right? Hey, welcome to the pod, by the way. Glad to have you be here. In general, like, I love the fact, that this thing actually modifies its cost so that it, it still gets around things like, so you're cheating it in, but you're not really, because it just becomes a 1-drop, right? Other bandit J/Resonators you control gain a +4/+4. If it was played from a standby area, it gains -2/-2 precision and bane until the end of game. And you can banish a magic stone to target a J/Resonator. Can it be blocked this turn? So overall, I mean, like, this guy becomes a 4/4 when you ambush with him, like, so that, but gains more keywords. So there's like some upside, some downside, and kind of becomes an anthem for your other bandits. Like, this is neat. Like, it's a neat space to explore. I like the fact that we're exploring, that we're making use of the standby zone more. Is like the standby area more is just nice. So yeah, I'm here for it. And stealth. Yay!
The next card.
The next card's Paul's to talk about.
The next card.
So this is Warrior. Warrior of the Maws. 2-cast, quick cast, Shark Folk Warrior. It's 5/7 with quick cast. Tap, destroy target J/Resonator. If its attack is less than the attack of this card, expel the bottom 3 cards of your deck. Depths is the new keyword. Against the following text as long as there are 15 or less cards in your deck. Untouchable, gains +3/+3, and whenever it destroys a J/Resonator, your opponent loses X hundred life, where X is the attack of the destroyed J/Resonator. And with that, Paul, the floor is yours.
This is the first main decked warrior resonator that we have ever seen printed. Not the first. I'm sorry. No, that's not true. Warrior of Solarisire was actually the first warrior. This is the second one. And super excited about the depths mechanic. This is cool. Like, figuring out how to expel cards permanently to get more effects or more value, I think is a really interesting counterplay for more powerful cards. Happens to be a 2-drop water resonator, which I'm really interested in. I don't think it has a place in Olivia as of right now, but I like it.
Interestingly enough, water also has typically the most kind of incidence of like 4C and like top and bottom deck manipulation. So the idea of like keeping your good cards on top and putting the bad cards on bottom, that you will use her cards to expel them and then help you get so that your deck becomes like this more consistent brick of stuff that's turned on with depths, is a very cool space for water to be exploring. Like, I think that's very neat.
Yeah. Is there like dredging the depths of your own deck as opposed to a graveyard? So there's like a lot of interesting things going on there too.
I would like to put driving on the bottom of my deck and then expel it. Thanks. Hey,
yes,
respect.
Yes, that would be great.
Respect the hell out of that. Like,
Look what I found in the ocean depths. This giant monster
that says no mana dorks.
No mana dorks. If this card is expelled by an effect you control, put it into the field. Type effects would be very interesting, Shunpo.
Or like, when this card is expelled, do Y, do X.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Someone suggested Shark Olympians.
My real life
Lord.
biggest,
I'm here
my
for
real life
it.
fear and my biggest chow fear. That's fine. Let Olympians have some space to go. It's fine.
Yeah. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Blue continues to be my favorite color because of things like this.
Yeah, it's neat. The depth
And that's all I
mechanic. The depth mechanic. I mean, again, we're just scratching the surface. Ha, get it? Because ocean. Of
Boo.
of
Gotta
the new
comb the depths with more cards. Yeah.
of the new mechanics. Obviously, we're gonna see more when we see like how the rulers play out and more fleshed. But it is cool to see kind of. I know we talked about this before when we had the cell sheet. We were all like, what new words mean when we were introduced to all the new keywords. So it's kind of cool to be going into spoiler season with those keywords kind of understood. Is very sweet, very nice.
Me too, and I can play the pun game. The man in the moon cuts his hair, eclipse it.
Yeah. Next up, we have Inhabitant of the Sprawling Grove, which introduces the Overgrowth mechanic, which is for chance, it's as the card resolves. For resonators or J resonators, it's as they enter the field. You put X +1/+1 counters on each J/resonator. Keep in mind that's both sides of the field, where X is the number of spells with Overgrowth you have resolved this turn, and it has Pierce. It is a 1-drop 11/11, where each other player searches their Magic Stone deck for a Magic Stone card with a Magic Stone type and puts it into the field. That doesn't say rested. That just says put it into the field. So I imagine the finalized text of this will say rested or not. I really hope it doesn't say recovered. I really hope it says rested, because then this card is unplayable garbage if you just let your opponent ramp
Card's
one.
already unplayable garbage.
Shush. Then each player that searched their Magic Stone deck this way shuffles it. So this is just Storm, I guess, in a sense.
But with counters,
But with +1/+1 counters.
which is irrelevant.
Yeah, so obviously there's going to be something here where, like, we steal plus... I mean, green already does have some affinity with, like, blue-green, with, like, stealing +1/+1 counters to turn them into other things or stuff like that. Maybe. This is the most, like, yeah, sure, tell me more. Like, this is the one that gives me the least amount of, like, yeah, I understand. I truly do not understand where this mechanic is going and need to see more.
This card should have just been printed
All
without
I
the
saw
overgrowth.
was-
Like, this is interesting without overgrowth on it.
It's a 1-drop at 11/11
Yeah,
with
make a wish.
almost no drawback.
Oh, it gives your opponent a stone.
Yeah, and you get one too.
No, you
So,
don't.
like,
It's
I'm-
each
I'm
other
kinda
player.
okay with
No,
that.
no, you do not. It's
Other
each other
player?
player.
Oh
It's
my
each
God.
other player.
Okay, fine, they get a stone for
Oh, please.
11/11. I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay with that. I'm still playing 11/11.
Yeah, it's a 12/12. Yeah, because it'll have a +1/+1 counter on it.
I'm this thing is a little crazy.
Yeah.
This card is definitely one of the cards of all time.
It is one of the cards of all time. This feels to me like it is the I don't want to wait for Jizo statues in ABC format card. Like, I don't want to wait.
Each opponent one, Jeremy.
Yeah.
You're minusing 3 for
Yeah,
this.
I don't want to give all 3 of my opponents in ABC a whole stone.
No, in a one-on-one, like
Yeah,
sure,
you
but
need a
yeah,
you need a green
yeah,
you need a green player in
sure,
ABC to
correct.
play this. Yeah.
Give me stones, give me stones, baby.
Can you imagine if we had a way to give this to our opponent, like play it onto your
That'd be-
opponent's side of the field so that
When
you
can-
then ramped a
Also,
stone?
Will, when can we print exchange? I want to swap cards in my hand with my opponent.
Overgrowth plus Smokescreen Bomb is going to be fun for red-green. Also true. Smokescreen Bomb is a very good card. Doesn't care about what kind of counters are on it. Just cares that they have counters on them.
That's a real card. What does that do?
Smokescreen Bomb? It's one of my cards. It's one of Bianchi's cards. It's great.
You act like I know what a single Bianchi card does.
Well, you should. Anyway, moving on to the next
probably
mechanic.
should.
We have our first non-Zeus Alice phobia. Entomophobia, which is a 2-drop addition phobia. Other bug J/resonators and insects J/resonators gain +200 while attacking you. Whenever you play a non-Darkness Resonator spell, if you don't own this card, put 2 +1/+1 or 100/100 Darkness Insect Resonator tokens with Flying, Terrifying, and Bane to the field under your opponent's control. I play a non-Darkness Resonator, and then tap and pay 1 black, discard a card, target player gains control of this card. So you infect your opponent with a phobia, essentially. And solo mode is pay 2, banish this card, play this will only if your opponent controls 7 J/Resonators more than you. So when they have so many spiders, you can finally overcome your fear through exposure therapy and get rid of your phobia.
This card has so many words that literally mean nothing except for the terrifying keyword.
Which I'm about to bring up. Let's learn about the terrifying keyword.
Let's learn.
Terrifying means resonators your opponent controls with attack less than the attack of this card, or with total cost 1 or less, cannot block this card. So
It's fear. Sort of.
So you gotta be bigger than it in some way to be able to block it.
The tree can't stop it.
Tree can't stop it.
I think that's funny.
Tree can't stop it.
Stop it.
Tree can't stop
Tree
it.
can't stop it.
Spiders all up in those trees.
Spiders can't do it. Not today.
No chump blocking, pretty good. Yeah, for sure, 100%. Like it again. The cards they chose for some of these for today, very strange. The mechanic as a concept, neat. Like I'm excited. Like the terrifying mechanic as a concept is like, I want to explore that, but I need to see like what other. I want to see what other things have terrifying, please. Not weird spiders.
Oh my god, it's a bunch of fox. Ah.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to use terrifying, and I want to put the terrifying on like the bunny resonators, so it's terrifying rabbits.
Terrifying rabbits. Let's go. Next up, we have. Who would have thought in the year of our Lord 2024 we would have gotten a new we would have gotten a new tank regalia.
Vingal 2 mentioned. Rant's winning today, baby. Let's go.
The tank.
It does exist.
So this is the new. So first off, this is the new vehicle frame. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but this was the
tank
new
regalia.
The new vehicle frame that was specifically designed for the new regalia of this set to like make it very clear and distinguished. So this is Lunar's C-38 cruiser tank, 2-cost regalia tank, precision mobilize J/Resonator. And so they specifically expanded the concept of mobilize for specifically these regalia. To instead of being when this card attacks, pay whatever, it just says rest a recovered J/Resonator you control. If you do, this card becomes a resonator until end of turn. It is still a regalia, which then means that mobilize isn't this kind of mobilize is an activate ability, meaning it can be done before recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what mobilize should have been in the first place for every single concept of mobilize.
Oh my god.
Because you're running your opponents over, Steven. That's why you're in the tank.
Yeah, for sure.
You're mobilizing.
And then it has resonance
You're
light.
mobilizing.
So here's the other thing.
Wait, sorry. Sorry, Jeremy. Steven's mobilizing I Spy to ban cards that probably should never have been played.
Yeah. truck go faster. Speaking of that, by the way, they did post a like ghost article today. Like they didn't talk about it at all, but they posted an article today on the Force of Will official website, further clarifying the specifics of like what's included in every format, like Wanderer, ABC, all that stuff. And in the full listing of all of like what sets fall in what cluster, they clarified that the Ghost of the Shell cards, the cards that don't have a set ID on them, like the special promos, are considered to be part of those sets. So they clarified, because there was that question that came up when they did the whole thing about the movie.
Kusanagi Mochiko and Kusanagi Mochiko, all legal, baby.
It's finally been updated. Anyway. So, Resonance Light Magic Stone, recover this card. Whenever this card attacks, remove all non-military resonators your opponent controls with Eternal and or Barrier from the game. Put a 4/4 Light Machine Resonator token into the field. An Eclipse, so again, 13 or more cards from your opponent's expel that are removed from game face down. Tap, pay 1 white, draw a card. You may discard a Moon Technology card. I mean, like, here's the thing. Resonance Light Magic Stone isn't that insane when you consider the fact that we have cards like Soul, who can just ramp a light magic stone into play recovered, by the way. So you could do a lot of silly things with this to have this thing tank go burr and attack a bunch. Also, again, this regalia doesn't have mythic.
Oh baby!
Imagine
Tanks.
if we had 3 tanks. No. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you have 3 tanks and 1 dude, then before recovery you can go use the 1 dude to make this tank a dude. Use that tank dude to make the other tank into a dude. Use that tank dude to make the other tank into a dude. Recover.
One night, yeah, one more time. Tanks for the memories, even though they weren't
Tanks
so great.
for the
Red wine and bread. Keep swinging with the buffs. Yep, 100%. There's lots of things. Tanks driving tanks.
Go! We can make tank tap to tank to tank the tank to tank the tank tank the tank.
Yeah, this is very silly, and I'm here for it.
Exception, correct.
That's the name of
Oh
the
my
deck.
God.
That's the name of the deck. Like it has to be. It has to be Tankception.
But wait, Zeus Alice is a tank.
Zeus Alice is a tank.
Zeus Alice is a tank. Let's go.
She was already a tank, but now she's
No,
even more of a tank.
No, Paul, I only sang Fall Out Boy for like 4 seconds. That's not demonetization. We're good.
So, Steven, whoever,
A likely story.
yeah, is
What is
legally
Mike
required
smoking?
to play the Cowboy Bebop opening. Tanks. So it's cool. The frame is. I'm kind of glad that the frame isn't like too much different than like a traditional frame.
It's fucking cool though.
It looks like a little bit more like futuristic technology wise. The like nameplate looks kind of like hardened metal steel. Like it's cool. Like it's nice. It's like
Hardened Metal Steel is my new album name, Jordan. Thank you.
There you go.
You've given me everything.
It's just it's a slight variance on the natural card frame, which I think is perfect. Like it adds a nice little bit of flavor to it, helps to make it very distinctive from traditional regalia or anything else. Because I will say this, with the inclusion of the mask scale and shards, there has been moments where people are like, "Oh, I'll pop this." And you're like, "You can't. That's not an addition. That's a regalia." You're like, "Ah, crap." You know, like the subtle distinction, is so having the fact that all of these regalia in this new set are supposed to have this new framing to kind of like further distinguish them, I think will be nice. It'll be nice. I'm curious how they look in full art.
pretty.
I think
Oh
they will.
gosh,
I would say these look pretty good. I wonder if they're gonna do like
these will look
one
good.
where it's like sort of like a transparent like overlay of that. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that looks.
This was normal. I want some texture.
Yeah, they don't do textured anymore, unfortunately.
Except for promos.
That's true.
Promo tank.
Tank.
Anyway, let's move on to our last keyword here, which was fate. Which was, to their credit, before we get into it, to their credit, fate was the keyword that is the most teasery for like the next Masterpiece collection, right? They're like, fate is kind of just being teased in this set.
Lapis Buster.
They're just 100%. But like they're like, we're gonna tease the fate mechanic in this set, and then next Masterpiece collection, you're gonna see the full flesh of it out. So
why are you saying zero support injected in my veins? This isn't a blue ruler. This is not for a blue ruler. Get it right.
So white sparkling crystal apple, to be specific about what the fate mechanic is, I'm going to pull it up here. So at the beginning of the game, if you control a ruler with name in its name, and you don't control a sub-ruler, you can reveal it from outside the game. If you are the first player, you flip it over and put it into your ruler area as a sub-ruler. So it starts as a main deck card, and then if you are going first, you can reveal it and put it into play as a sub-ruler. So you don't get to start. It takes a sideboard slot, essentially, is what this is saying. Otherwise, put it into your hand as it's like front side face. Cancel all abilities you control and unreveal all cards you own revealed outside the game. The second part of Fate is that then when you do Judgment, you can give yourself that sub-ruler. Essentially, you can flip the card over and put it into play as a sub-ruler. So you could choose to just play it as its card type, or you can put it into play as a sub-ruler. Why is this important? Because on this white apple, it has a card side that has a cost and a side that doesn't. So you can still just hard cast it if you want to, but if you perform judgment, you can put it into play as a sub-ruler. Why I like the... Paul had an excellent thing in our like group Discord earlier of big words, much confuse, not crystal clear, which is totally fair.
Not crystal clear, crystal apple.
Ha! Got it.
Mucho texto.
Mucho
Mucho
texto.
Mucho texto, many explain, brain hurt.
Mucho texto.
Mucho texto, not on Cardo.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Problemo.
but what I want to talk about specifically is that I really, really appreciate this approach to sideboarding or to sub rulers from a perspective of deck creativity and game balance. I like the fact that you do not get to just start with this card for a couple of reasons. One, it takes a card out of your sideboard slot. So by having this pumped up element, you recognize that you have to give something else up somewhere else. And I like that it similarly locks you out of being able to just spam Rogue Spectator and Shiva, right? Like, I just think that's nice. Second, if you're going second, you don't just get to tell your opponent, hey, I'm going to start the game up a card because I get to draw first and you don't. And I have a sub-ruler that I started with at the beginning of the game. And I have a will coin. Good luck. Like, I like the fact that you don't get that inherent bonus as one more thing to make going second feel good, right? So I like that. My third piece is from a deck building perspective, because you don't start with it, it means you don't have to reveal it, which means that you could swap between single rulers or swap between rulers that don't have a sub-ruler without feeling like you're locked to it. How much time would that actually happen? I don't know if that will, but it does mean that you could swap between different rulers that have fate mechanics, or like there's all kinds of things that you could do with it. There's just been some weirdness about sideboarding with regards to sub rulers and extension rules as of late. And so I like that this is kind of freeing up that space without being quite so prescriptive. So isn't it way... Vic Matron, isn't it way worse going second? You don't see the benefits until like turn 3. Wrong. Sorry.
Wow.
I mean, it's based on the deck, but there are often times that going second is just great. I think that there are decks that genuinely want to go second. I think there are decks that hate it. For instance, Alex Sansta cannot stand going second because if you're playing the Cthulhu build, that coin is worthless. Literally worthless. Does not do anything. It energizes for white, and none of the deck is white, and barely has any void costs. So you want to go first so that you can start playing right away. There are other decks like Glorious, for instance, where I love going second because it means that I'm set up to be able to on curve blow up all of my opponent's stones. Seems very nice.
Except you can't anymore.
Why can I not?
In I guess you technically can, because I was just saying the ruling with like the servant of Asmodeus not having inheritance anymore.
Oh, I'm still blowing stones up on 3.
Valid.
That doesn't matter. I'm still blowing up your stones.
You're right. You do that. You go, girl.
Yeah, Glorious Coin is OP. Yeah, Glorious Coin is very good. So would it have been really so bad if Zero just started with it? No, and this is not stop. This is not.
What more words?
Another week at Jeremy still talking about Glorious. Yeah, excuse me.
Obviously,
couldn't
my topped an event with Glorious. Let him have his moment, even if it was off.
I honestly think. Honestly, my deck did not really rely on the shady ruling that much, and I still think I would have probably won that event if I had played out the top cut. But I got Shunpo his invite. I conceded to Shunpo so he could get his invite instead. So valid.
He could have conceded with any other deck, but he conceded with Glorious.
I could have conceded with any other deck, but I conceded with Glorious. I also think it's not the only decks that want to go second. I mean, any Grim Cluster deck, I think, likes to go second, especially K1. K1 really likes to go second because then they get like a free coin to be able to put a card face down and then have will to be able to mess with it. Any deck that likes Guardian Dragon likes to go second so that they can try and play a Guardian Dragon on one. Nine-Tailed Fox, Lilius Petal likes to go second for that exact reason. Like, it's based on the deck. I think Lumia doesn't really care because they're just going to play like a turn 1 flute. So they probably want to go first.
Control decks in general kind of like having the coin.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
TCG likes going first.
yeah, so you can kill them faster.
Correct.
So yeah, I think saying that that you don't just get to start with it without giving up a slot in your sideboard and some generic utility, I like that about this as the mechanic. That being said, let's look at the card itself. Again, this is fully in development, very clearly set up for 0 6 Sage of Light.
Oh, of course, an effect. Nice.
Yeah. So Fate for 1 white. It is what is it? What is the type of thing? Arcane item is the subtyping. So now we have a new race. So now Alice is an arcane item. Let's
House
go.
is bigger, baby. Let's
go.
Every time. Every set. This happens.
So, Conqueror J Rulers and Light 6 Sage J Rulers you
Conqueror?
control gain
Conqueror mentioned?
+4/+4. Pay 1 white, remove an attacking J/Resonator from battle. It loses all keyword abilities until end of turn. That J/Resonator controller removes the top 2 cards of their deck from the game face down. Play this ability only once per turn. This is really good. Like, this ability is very good. It's non-targeted combat removal that also then answers Eternal and Barrier until the end of the turn. Like, it gets around Eternal and Barrier because it doesn't say chose it. It doesn't say target. It just removes it.
The controller.
And then they lose Eternal and Barrier for the rest of the turn. If that effect stays as it is, this is really good. Like, that's a really, really, really good effect to just have sitting there. And then it has God's Art for 1 black. Rotten Slice. If you have an achieved Eclipse or you control a J/Ruler with 0/6 Sage in its name, destroy target J/Resonator with fewer or more keyword abilities than it originally had, then draw a card. Which, if you remember fewer or more.
Is that right?
Yeah, no, that's correct. Well, don't
That's
forget
correct.
Don't forget. So here's the thing. Don't forget. That actually is
Fewer or more.
that actually is incredibly in line with what 0 did. The original 0 specifically removed keyword abilities from things. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes.
Fewer or more keyword abilities than its printed keyword abilities.
So if
I get it, but wow, what a sentence!
Red Hot Iron Shoes literally just got a card to cheat it in. Excuse you.
You act like I know what
Ooh.
any of these cards do. You act like I understand what happens when you read.
Yeah, the
Where
God's
Red
Art. The
Hot
God's
Iron
Art.
Shoes-
You're right that the God's Art doesn't currently work on this side when 0 is flipped. So let's talk about the Regalia, the sub-ruler side. Calling a Magic Stone does not cause J/Rulers you control to rest. That's
Yay.
really good. That's really, really good
That's
on
super good for 0.
really
on
helpful.
something that you can just start the game with. Like, that's very, very good. Entities your opponent controls lose and cannot gain Eternal and Barrier. That's even better. Like, that's just so good.
The 2 keywords that 0 doesn't cover.
Yeah, exactly. Light resonators you control with Young Master or zeros in their name gain +3/+3 and enter. Reveal the top card of your Magic Stone deck. If it is a light Magic Stone type, put it into the field in all zones.
Holy shit!
By the
what?
way, that doesn't say it. That's better than the light. Like, it turns every Young Master /zeros apostrophe possessive into Lightstone Gretel. OG Lightstone Gretel.
You mean Soul?
But Soul only grabs basic Lightstones.
Oh my god!
This grabs any stone with the light Magic Stone type.
Dual stones and tri-stones.
Dual stones and tri-stones. pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's decent.
And then pay 1 black, destroy target resonator with fewer or more keyword abilities than it originally did, and then draw a card. Play this ability only once per turn. So just
Fantastic.
great. And then God's Art,
Oh.
Apple Magic. Pay white, heal all astral rulers you control. Search your deck for a chant or addition with 0 in its name, and play that without paying its
Without
cost. Then
paying
shuffle
its
your
cost.
type. Players cannot chase to this ability.
Oh. I know Zero's Magic Light
Free
exists.
Zero
Give me
Circle of
1
Protection.
second.
0 circle
Oh,
of protection.
God, that exists.
Yeah, let's
Zero's
talk.
Magic Light, obviously. Zero's Wrath, you get a 4 cost for nothing. Just real.
Destroy
Oh,
all
for one.
resonators
For
your opponent
one.
controls that dealt damage. Just
Gone.
can't chase to that.
Rip in peace. Gone. Gone.
So funny.
This is actually. Why are there so many words associated with the card and then also on the card? There's so many words I can't read, dude. I
Sorry.
play Force of Will. I can't read. Show me Anime Girl. I know what she do.
All
I
these
mean,
effects are very good.
These are
Mucho
all
texto.
mucho texto,
Mucho texto.
but very good texto. Very, very good texto.
Very good Mucho Texto.
Yeah. For
Are
sure.
these smaller in Japanese? Like if you like
no.
translate these-
What the problem is right now is that I am dealing with a screenshot from an underdevelopment video on YouTube. Like I don't have a high res. This is me screenshotting the video from Rio that was posted earlier today. So bear with me.
That's right, Alejandro. That's how I would say it if I could speak that language.
But very
Cannot
good
do that.
texto. But very good texto. Like
Mucho texto.
this is just an insane. Like now you can see why I'm also very glad that going second, you can't just start with this. Like jeez
Sorry,
Louise.
Alejandro, is this mucho text or mas texto? I feel like it's mas text.
It's more text. That's more text.
I mean, it is definitely mas texto that I'm used to.
Also, probably needs Mas Texto to help us describe what Fate does.
Yeah, for
Needs
sure.
mas texto,
For
has mucho texto.
So I think I could probably get around that if they had like another one of these Fate cards that actually had the reminder text
text
on
on it.
since it's in
Yeah,
the
for sure.
set.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be great. That's a lot of reminder text.
Yeah, it's a very big
It's a
reminder
lot.
text piece. Yeah. Yeah. That's a real for sure. So but like this to me, I mean, first off, we were already expecting that next Masterpiece Collection was going to be a Lapis cluster. I mean, like this is just like the nails in the coffin.
Yes.
Like next Masterpiece Collection is Lapis cluster.
Dangling the apple in front of us.
Yeah,
Like,
for
getting us
sure.
ready for the Lapis masterpiece.
And I, for one, like if this is the kind of support that Lapis Cluster is going to be getting, I'm here for it. Like this is pretty dang cool. Like
I hope some of them have less text.
valid. Valid. But
Oh, I can't wait for OG Scarlet and Yarly to get something though.
just give me some Lilius
Sorry,
Petal.
Lumia.
Give me more Lilius Petal support. Give me something that's Fate with Lilius Petal, please.
Give me ancient
Give us
magic
some
support
Lunya.
for things that aren't soul.
Lanya? Yeah. Yeah.
Some Mikage.
Mikage support, Feasting Torrent support,
Ooh.
some more Torrent
Feasting.
elves, so we can play Elf Ball again. Elf
What
Ball.
else do we have? What else is in that set? Don't say elf ball. You're gonna trigger somebody in chat.
I just me.
Yeah.
We triggered me. I dissociated.
Everything's turning red. What's happening?
What's happening? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, Charlotte support.
Charlotte?
Oh,
Yep.
oh, I'm a,
Charlotte support.
yo. I've got a soft. I've got a
Lumia for
soft
sure.
More Lumia.
Sure.
Yep.
No, we gotta think about the
Darkest
starter decks.
Fire's support would be really good because I think that card legitimately has over the
Umar
years
Aksa
made
will
some like
support.
interesting stuff.
More limit counter
Maybe
support
Umar
with
will do
Umir.
something.
Yep.
Umar Ata will no.
No, not that one. The first one.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, not the
Yeah.
one that
No,
infinitely
it's a
lets
degenerate,
infinites
gotcha.
happen.
Second one makes infinite go infinite forever, infinitely.
Yeah.
We'll probably get Dark Tree support.
When the Dark Tree comes off the reworking protocol, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dark Tree, it can stay on. It can stay off the reworking protocol.
It's on the
I know
rework.
it's gonna
It's
be-
already
I know
on there.
but it can stay off of it.
Robert, it's not. It's
Just cut down that tree forever.
It's
I would
elf
love
ball.
to.
It's elf ball, clearly.
Elf ball, elf ball, elf ball, elf ball.
My brain. That's
Yeah.
like. I think that's the only time in my life that my brain has truly broken.
Wukong
Like,
support give, yes.
It's
Oh my god.
disorientation strategy. It's psychological warfare.
Yeah, Wukong support. Yeah, for sure. That would
Really?
also be
Wukong
good.
Wukong support,
Support.
please.
Roll dice, roll dice, roll dice.
Force support. Yeah.
There's
that's-
Kyron.
Force support. Monkey, monkey, monkey.
Yeah, a lot of cool.
Let's
There's a lot of cool space in Lapis Cluster to explore. There's a
Maybe
ton
they
of
should give
it.
zero support.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how.
I don't
how
know.
that is,
She's
man.
had her time. She's had her time.
Had her time.
Nobody
She's
likes
great.
nobody likes Zero anyway.
I want. Okay, for real though, I want. Give me more Wanderers. I want Adelbert support. Give him first.
Yes, 100%. I would take a
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, Adelbert
No.
support.
I would take some Wanderers. I would
I would
absolutely.
100% take some
Adelbert
Wanderers.
was a dope ruler. If you gave Adelbert a fate card that let him not have to tap to call stone, like so that
real,
like
real.
even
Yeah.
just that. Like
Put the
I would-
Valentina into play. Draw a card. Make your opponent discard a card.
like
That's just lit. That's
I
awesome.
would love to be able like so many fun rulers in Lapis Cluster to explore that I would very
Think
much.
off 3 dragon support. Let's. Oh my
I mean,
god.
they already kind of got
Oh,
that
you
with
are
Clash of the
so
Star
rude.
Trees. They just
No,
kind of
that's
became
not
the
real.
they just
Come
kind
on
of became
now.
the Solara stations. I don't,
No, we needed
Yeah,
we needed
yeah.
for the resonance.
Yes, yeah, that's fair.
More ancient magic support.
More
too.
ancient magic support. Yep,
More
that's
ancient
true.
magic support.
Valentina,
more force support.
support.
More force support.
Val 3.
Glorious support. Glorious sub
Book of Light, Book of Dark.
Oh, don't let me
support.
start with the sub ruler and
book.
mask.
The books. The books.
The books. Will of Hope, Will of
Flute.
Despair.
Wait, what would flute
Flute.
support look like?
Letting her tag with anyone else.
Valid.
Exactly.
then she gets banned because she was banned in Epic Stories when she came.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it's just like tagging with Millium. Like,
Yeah, that'd be
just
cool.
Make
Let
Millium.
Millium,
That would
let
be-
Millium tag with her.
That would be sick. Maybe Million would actually be playable for once.
Yeah.
Dragon
K4 would
Millium.
be good too.
Dragon
K4.
Million.
Yeah, that's true. We get
Force.
Lapis Cluster
K4
is
would get better.
K4. Yeah, that's K4.
Million just literally needs a, Million
Stop.
literally just needs a sub rule that says
Crucia
instead of
Gatsar?
whenever you force, you get 1 dragon power counter. The dragon powers you get are equal to the roll.
Oh, the force.
roll. Yeah,
That
'cause
could.
it should have been that from the start. That would have been
Li-
balanced
literally
in
just that.
Lapis Cluster.
Yeah. Blue Black Valentina.
Hard stop.
Fingolf 3. Priscia all day. Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, like,
Mhm.
Lapis Cluster has such a cool space to be able to explore. And, like.
No, you know what I want support for? Vingolf 3 Baroost.
I mean, like, so just go play Gloria Stonehate. I don't know what you want from me.
There you go.
Like, I don't know. Isn't that
For real,
exactly
though.
what I'm doing with Glorious?
For real though.
Let's
I
go
want
for-
ancient magic support that makes Soul, Mars, and Mercurius like valid
So,
strategies
Soul.
on their own,
Okay,
not
So-
just
so
improvements. I'm saying like Soul different, Mars different.
I have a thought
Mercurius
experiment. I have a
different.
thought
Soul,
experiment
Soul right here.
Paul.
By the way, I will state, Soul has been in the background of every single podcast for like the past 2 years.
If only he was relevant.
He's
Anyway,
always been.
He's
He's been here the whole time.
He's been
I've
here
been
the
here
whole
the
time.
whole
He's staring at you
time.
from right there. If you look at him, that's his eyeball right there. He's staring at you.
Wait,
Yes.
okay, wait. I posited.
I just want distinct ancient magic strategies.
Yeah,
please.
for sure.
I posited a question to Paul and everyone in chat.
Oh, not me though.
No, Jeremy, you're a darkness player. You don't
Okay,
get
bye.
to have.
That's
a
true.
say.
I am a Darkness player.
I will talk to the blue player here and everybody out here. Joe Cullen, all about sub ruler. No, I need you all to think of what would support for specifically Mars and Mercurius look like that wouldn't just directly benefit Soul more than them. Other than just literally naming them and not Soul. Like that's just boring.
Oh, it's very simple. It's very simple. Honestly, you could make it so that they get their bigger limit counters without relying on the demon.
Ooh. Okay.
specifically for Soul and Mercurius. So like,
Okay.
or like if they have a
Sure.
certain number of limit counters, their spells like spells that they cast with ancient magic counters gain untouchable or cannot be chased. Like
Ooh.
specifically for them, right?
I like
Like
Curious doing that. I feel like it doesn't match as much for Mars, but I feel like there's something else we can do for Mars.
yeah, I feel like for Mercurius, if you said like if you burned X amount of mana counters into a spell, it gains untouchable. Would be like a very easy way to buff up something like Mercurius, right? Soul could be if you burn enough mana counters into it, it doubles the damage,
That's pretty sick. That turns Invitation to
or
Disaster
or
into kill
or
spell.
converts it into, or even better, converts it into life loss instead of damage. So then it
That's a darkness thing. I don't know if I want to.
that's
believe
fair.
That's a darkness
That
thing,
is that is fair. So
not of
but
identity.
maybe that's the
It's
soul.
not
Maybe that's how
playable
it.
enough to
Maybe
me.
that's how Soul differentiates himself. Right? Is that Soul actually can convert it to life loss instead of damage, whereas Soul can convert it to life loss instead of damage, whereas Mars can double the damage.
I do like Mars doubling damage. I feel like just knowing how Invitation of Disaster was printed, it just that's clean. That's super clean, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I do like the untouchable for Mercurius though, because you
Yeah.
can just untouchable put 3 hooks into play and make your opponent want to leave the game forever.
Or just
Yeah.
the other really amazing white, resonators that have come out over time instead of hooks,
True.
right?
But also hook exists.
Can we not do double damage? Yeah. Steven brings up an interesting point. Give a way that is lets Soul, Mercurius, and Mars tag. Specifically, that
That'd
lets
be
the two of them tag together, right?
I feel like you'd want to tag the rulers with their mentor though for Soul. That's an interesting thought experiment.
Maybe.
I'm on the design train right now. I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
I'm just
But that's what I'm
I'm
talking about, how there's so much cool stuff. Like the characters, the identity, the flavor of Lapis Cluster was so deep and diverse that the idea of revisiting it with, I mean, very similar to why we all got so hyped for Pilgrim Memories, right? Is the diversity of what Grim Cluster brought to the table was so diverse. It was really cool to go back and say, what else could we do with these rulers, right? And so the introduction of the Fate concept, back with another very flavorful, super unique space of Lapis Cluster is like, yep, I'm here. I'm still hyped for it. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, I'm gonna go off of Steven's idea of like giving resonator that counts as both their familiars. What if the sub ruler just lets them start with an extra card in their hand that is the familiar?
just like start the game with the familiar in their hand.
Familiar in hand.
I don't super love that, because then it just like immediately is
don't
like, well, I just
love
know
it.
you'll have it, so I'll just like glint of insight you.
Okay, if you're going to be inciting me, then fuck you. Sorry,
Wow.
stop.
Wow. So I would argue that like what you could do is that when you perform judgment, the sub ruler in that same vein is that it would let you search the deck for the card when you do judgment and then remove it from the deck, right? So you didn't have to have it in hand to be able to get
Or
the
the
extra
sub ruler-
mana counters.
Or the sub ruler just lets you grab it at the start of the game. double
Grab it
the
when
damage
flipping.
from-
Yeah, grab it when flipping.
from- or just double the damage, and also does another effect because every sub ruler apparently has like 3 to 4 effects. So we can just put something else on there. I don't know.
Yeah. Like there's space to be able to buff them without doesn't just immediately make Soul better. Like it's very doable.
Yeah.
And I'm hyped for it.
We'll just put more text on it. It's fine.
Mucho Texto.
Mucho texto. Mas
Mas
texto.
texto.
to describe
Mas
nutrition.
Texto.
Thank you,
Mas
Alejandro.
Texto.
Loisimo, we did it.
And with that lesson out of the way, that is going to be where we close it here for tonight as we get excited for more stuff. Just some housekeeping notes for this week. Tomorrow, you non-members will get to see the deck profile for Blue Sylvia. And then Wednesday, you get to see Bianchi commentating his very first feature match on the channel. Playing
Jeremy's
against
a furry today.
playing against Alex Sansta. It's going to be a cool ride.
Ears.
So that's coming up this Wednesday. I finally found a
Always
Bianchi
wanted
build.
this tail.
I finally found a Bianchi build that I really liked and got a good feature match for it. So you'll check that out on Wednesday. We'll have deck profiles up for later this week, and then we'll be back next week with more. Hopefully, maybe more spoilers or more news or something as we gear up for Worlds. Make sure the Sylvia list is titled
Grab
correctly.
battle.
No,
It has
everything
the-
is Fox.
Oh, I will. I will. Thank
Event-
you, Patrick. I will fix that. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been myself, DMO73, and I've been joined as always by Paul Reisman.
Make them better. Just make Mercurius and Mars better.
And
Do it.
Mike Rance.
Loisimo, we did it.
Class dismissed.
We just.